Hi, I'm Larry Bateman, and glad to welcome you to my home. You may be wondering how in the world you could ever get involved in doing something and making a difference in your precinct, in your county, your state, or your nation. On March 2, 2009, when the precincts were being reorganized here in Spartanburg County, South Carolina, there was an ice storm, and nothing was moving. And I stood here in this room ready to go out to the reorganizational meeting down at the school where we vote. And my wife said, "Don't go, Larry. Don't go. They'll reschedule it." And I told her, "Honey, for the kids and the country, I've got to go." And we went down and were locked out of the school. Had no lights, no heat, but 11 of us met there in the doorway of that school in the frigid cold with ice all around. And there we reorganized the precinct. Basically, I thought about my kids and my grandkids. And those people are very special. And I was willing to lay down my life for them. And I need to be willing to lay down my life for my country as well as my community. How would I ever do that? When I got to on that icy night and got there, the person that was leading the reorganization was Ken Roach. And he just looked at everybody as we're sitting there freezing to death and said, "Does anybody want to be president?" And I held up my hand. I didn't go planning to do that, but I went there to help. And I stepped up to the plate and said, "Hey, didn't see any other hands going up, so I put my hand up." And those 11 people voted me to be president of the precinct. Being naive and not knowing exactly what to do, I looked at them there as they were all shivering and shuddering, and I said to them, "Well, how often do you all want to meet?" And they said, "We want to meet monthly because we want our country back." You see, folks, with that kind of passion, you can make a difference with just 11 souls. Kind of felt like George Washington crossing the Delaware on Christmas Eve with all kinds of defeat around him, and he decided to take a bold step. Stood up in the boat, yeah, you've seen the pictures, crossed the icy river, and established a mighty victory, which was the beginning of bringing a series of victories that led to the freedom of the United States of America, which we now know as that. You say, "Larry, I don't know about being an officer." Well, folks, you got to realize that in the beginning of the American Revolution, there were no precincts. There were just people like you and like me that decided that they were going to work together and look out for their community. And so committees of correspondence, which became committees of safety, were established throughout the areas and actually through the colonies. And these people met to discuss ideas about how they would relate to British rule, how they could look out for one another. They also had the ability to mobilize the militia should there be a need. That wasn't the major focus. And they also elected people that would go represent them at the local and at the colony level to share their vision of what they wanted for their colony. And in this case, today, it's the same thing is true. We're talking about mobilizing committees of safety, except they're called precincts. When we talk about these things like reorganization and precincts and delegates and that sort of thing, it can be very intimidating to folks, and they think, I don't know whether I could do that. But yes, you can. You can make the right difference right now. If you're registered to vote, you'll have a voter registration card. Get that voter registration card and take it with you to the Precinct Reorganization meeting. Typically, those meetings are held where you vote, at that location. And bring a bunch of folks with you that'll elect you to something, nominate you for a position and elect you to something, and to ensure that there are principled conservatives that are going to be elected to positions of office in the precinct. You can do that. You say, well, I don't know about running for office or doing that sort of thing. That seems hard to me. I'm just a flag-waving American, and I can do that, but I don't know whether I can do anything else. Well, it's pretty simple. It's really not that hard. When I picked up this packet, I found Monday night I had some really good news. I looked here, and it says that the name of my precinct, it says the number of delegates is 56. You say, what does that mean? Well, the last time I did it, on that icy night that I was telling you about, we were only allowed 32. So when you work hard, you have the possibility to build the number of delegates, because that number is based on the participation in the primaries in your particular precinct. The voter turnout there determines how many delegates you get in your precinct that will go to the county election. You say, I don't know if I can do all that. You sound like you're kind of semi-retired, Larry, and you got lots of time, and I don't have any time. I got a job. I got kids to take care of. I got to take kids to practice and do all that. I can't do a lot. Well, you need to understand that this is the beginning on reorganization night, the beginning to a whole lot of opportunities that you can have. But you really only need to go to 2 meetings to get involved and to make a difference. You can go on to the state and the district and the national level if you were elected to do so, but you have to take that first step and be here if you don't think you can make a real difference. You need to change your mind about that and about America and say, I want to be a part of making the right difference right now in my county and in my state and in my nation. I want to thank you for visiting with me at Fireside, and look forward to talking with you another time to share more of my heart with you as scpatriot.com guy. Thank you.